Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm actually going to do something different. It's actually a DIY. Lately I have been going through a phase of um, a phase that I go throughout my whole life, and it's kind of like depression. I don't want to say it is depression, but it is where I'm always I'm always down, I'm sad all the time. I don't rather go out and do stuff, or the things I find enjoyment, I don't do anymore. So I've been going through that for the past couple of years, like throughout my whole life. I know I have these lumps, and so I try to get myself out of these lumps, and I made this DIY, and it's really simple. It's a DIY daily journal, and it's, you just get a little book and you write yourself little things, and I'm just going to go over it quickly on like the kind of things I do to make me feel better or feel more happier, or kind of like, okay, you're going to get out of this and stuff like that. So I hope you like it, and stay tuned for the little chapters inside. So this is my DIY journal. It's called the Daily Life Journal. I bought this book at Michael's at the $1.50 bin about 3 years ago. I've been using this journal for 2 years now, and it's just a perfect book. It just says just a few thoughts, which I thought it was adequate. It's bright yellow, kind of turns my day around when I see bright yellow, so that's why I use it. So this is my daily life journal, and I have 4 sections. So the section inspiring quote of the day is very uplifting because I'm a big Pinterest person, so I go through quotes a lot every day, and these are the quotes that stand out to me the most, and that kind of make me feel like this depression or this sadness of mine is going to go away. So I usually print out some right here, like it says, stars cannot shine without darkness. And then I kind of draw little figures, or if I don't draw, I kind of do like little typo kind of effects to it, or put it on a post-it note and kind of rip it. So this is just a little read through and kind of do some fonts. I also, when I go out, I try to look for quotes everywhere, and these are the things I find. So this is just a run through and of how it looks, the quote section. So the next section I have is inspiring playlists. I usually, when I'm listening to Pandora or Spotify, I kind of note which songs I want in this playlist, and I actually make it on Spotify as well. So if you want to check out my Spotify, I have this list, and it's just songs that make you kind of bring up your spirits and kind of like, this is not the end kind of songs, and kind of inspiring kind of songs. So this is Find of the Day. This is where it's kind of like a diary. I actually write something I found out today or found out that day, and it has to be something positive, so I don't write anything non-positive. And I kind of like always bullet point it. So the thing I bullet point is the thing I found, so the point from in lighthouse or email, and then I write kind of why I felt it was positive and what I liked about it. So some of the sections are small and has a little illustration, or some of the sections are big and long. So I always date the day that I found it and just go through it. So it's really interesting. I do drawings, try to do drawings every time. It's never a guarantee. Or if I went somewhere, I would include kind of like a stub thingy. So it is really a fun thing. I decided to do 3 goals, so I don't get frustrated with that day that I haven't accomplished anything. And these can be very simple goals. For example, apply for 2 jobs, print photos for frames, organize room for an hour. So, and then once I accomplish those goals, I write a note saying what I accomplished and how I accomplished it, or what I didn't accomplish and how I will get it better. I found that worked for me. Again, everybody goes through it differently and everybody has a different solution. So you know what you like or what you don't like. And for me, it was journaling and writing. Um, I have gone through depression or sadness through a lot throughout my life, several times, period of time longer than a month, and I find that writing helps me a lot through it. I mean, I let it go through as well because it's something that every human should experience, sadness and happiness. But I try to kind of filter my thoughts and that stuff, and that's why I find DIY journaling very useful. Um, the last time I actually started this specific journal, the last time I was depressed because I found out that I was dyslexic and I was in graduate school and I was having multiple people tell me that my writing was not as high as they thought and I was not intelligent as they wanted me to be, and I really didn't deserve my graduate spot. And so when I heard that, that kind of got me depressed and stuff like that. And I started writing inspiring quotes, and I actually transferred them into here. And so that's how I started. And I added the other sections later because I was like, oh, I want to add this section because I feel like this is going to help me like look life positive. So that's why I found the daily find of the day, which is very useful. And then I started writing the 3 goals because later on that point, after I graduated, I didn't know who I was because my identity for so long was a student, and it's just something that I had and I thought I was going to be forever, but eventually at some point you finish school, and so that's what I went through. And so this is just one thing that I recommend for you to do. I highly recommend, if anybody who's going through depression or sadness, is to ask for help. Ask, or at least ask for a listening ear. I have friends who are willing to listen to me and think and help me see the positive of the situation. And sometimes you don't want to hear that, and that's okay if you don't want to hear that. But if you can't find a solution to get out, then I think you should ask for help. I asked for help, and it doesn't have to be help about your depression. It can be help about something that you're particularly kind of clinged on to your depression. And for me, it was when I was being constantly told that I was intelligent or I wasn't smart enough and that I should not have been in grad school and stuff like that. So that was my constant thing that I was getting. And so I decided to go ask for help, like, why am I not suited for grad school and stuff like that. And that led me to different organizations, and it eventually led me to be tested and to be finding that I actually have a learning disability and I'm dyslexic. And a lot of people didn't think I was because I was bilingual. I was just not grasping the whole concept of English, and it's not true because my dyslexic actually crosses over to my Spanish as well, because I read and speak both English and Spanish, but at the same point I'm having the same problems in both languages. So that's when I found out I was dyslexic, and that's when I was going through that crisis. I was like, oh, this explains everything throughout my whole years. And kind of like once I identified the problem, I feel like I got less and less into a depression. And it comes up once in a while. I struggle with when I'm depressed. It's like, why can I write better? Why can I not do this? But I also struggle with it because of my identity. I was a student for a long time and now I'm not. But again, like I mentioned, always ask for help first. So I highly recommend journaling for people who are depressed. It definitely lets you see your inner self. And I just let my proof in. Like, I'll have a lot of spelling mistakes and I notice them right here. And I'm like, oh, I should go correct them. But when you're correcting your spelling mistakes, you're correcting your thoughts. And so I just like to keep it unfiltered at all times. And this is really cool thing for you to keep. And You don't have to write on it every day. So I hope this helps you feel better, or helps you get kind of better thought of yourself with this DIY, and why you're kind of in that slump, or any suggestions of people that of for people who are in depressed, or who are in a deep sadness in their period of life, what to do, or like a DIY for them or something. Let me know in the comments below. I definitely want to read them. And I highly suggest that if you're depressed, to first get help. It doesn't have to be from a psychiatrist. It can be from your friends or family, or it doesn't have to be about your depression. It could be about the thing that you're the reason why you're depressed. And for me, it was my dyslexia, and then I got over that. Like, I found the tools and things, and it was not like a 2-day thing. It was a year of help that I received. And also, I in the past, before I knew I had dyslexia, I went to talk to counselors. I went to youth organizations or student organizations at my college that kind of like had a drum circle, or like a talking circle, and people would just tell their problems, and it was very helpful, because then you know that you're not the only one. And that's the thing, when people are depressed, or when I'm depressed at least, I say I'm the only one. Why can't I get out of this slump and all this stuff, like, oh, I just why can't I think better, or like stuff like that. It's always about your own thoughts fighting against you. Like I mentioned before, comment below about the DIYs or anything that you suggest for people who are depressed or who are in sadness. And I hope to see you soon.